Hi guys, it's Carolyn and Malia, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this dress. You start off by watching this video, and if you like the dress that you see in the video, you can then go online to purchase your pattern pieces at www.carolynbaxter.co.uk. You then follow the instructions in the video that shows you the step-by-step actions taken to make this dress. For those of you who don't know what pattern pieces are, they're paper pieces that you cut around on fabric and then sew together to create your own beautiful dress. I've created a range of these videos in pattern, perfect for those of you who usually buy patterns from shops in town and find them a little bit complicated. These videos will talk you through the process step by step. What you'll need for this dress is a lovely eveningy fabric. This is the fabric that I've picked. Secondly, you'll need some trimming, which kind of complements the colour of your fabric. You also need thread, which goes with your fabric. You need hook and eyes, which are the fastenings that will be fastening the dress. You also have the choice to get an assortment of beads to decorate the waistband. Now, to get the trimmings, I go to josierose.co.uk. They are offering my subscribers a 10% discount on their first purchase. Now, all you have to do is put CBWF in the promotional code box and that should get your discount. Lay out your fabric and fold over one end. Take your top front shell one pattern piece and place down. Pin and cut around. You're folding the fabric so that you get two of the same pattern pieces in a mirror image. This is what you should have now. Now I'm going to take my pattern piece and I'm going to fold over once and press with the iron, and then I'm going to fold over again and sew along. Now do this on only the two long sides of the pattern piece. So remember, it's 1 centimetre or 10 millimetres you're folding. Now in my fabric there's one really shiny side and one matte side. Now I'm using the matte side as the outside of the dress. So I've sewn all the way around. I'm leaving this top end free because that's going to be sewn up later, and I'm leaving the bottom end free as well because that's going to be trapped into a waistband. Next you're going to be cutting your waistband. Fold over your fabric as the pattern piece says cut on fold. Now you're going to place that section on the folded part of the fabric, pin in place and then cut around. You need to do this 2 times. Your pattern pieces should now look like this. Now you're going to take the 2 long edges of your waistband and you're going to do the same as what we did earlier. Folding over once and ironing, and then folding over again and sewing, and you're only going to do that along the 2 long edges on the top and the bottom. This is what it should look like now. Now this is the time that you would add any detail onto the waistband. Now you would only do this on one of the pattern pieces of your waistband, and if you were going to sew a nice piece of trimming on, make sure it's lined up in the centre of the waistband and sewed on nice and neat. You then place one side of the waistband on top of the other side of the waistband, good sides facing down, and sew here and here. So I've got my waistband now all sewn up, and I've actually added a really nice trimming there. Now I just picked this up from my local fabric shop, but again on that website I mentioned earlier, you can go on there and they've got quite a good variety on there as well at a reasonable price. I may also add some jewels on there as well, which will give it a little bit of sparkle and bling. Now I've taken my 2 top shell pieces of the dress and I've pinned them in place on my mannequin. Now this helps me work out where exactly I'm going to sew the band. Now the thing to remember is to line up the two shell pieces so they're the exact same and they start in the same place just here. Now I need to find the middle of my waistband, so to do that I'm just going to fold it over, and where it folds I'm going to mark it with a pin, and that's going to show me the exact middle when I open it up. Now I can line that up with the middle of my top of my dress. Pin it in place at the back. Now that I've placed my band on my dress, I'm going to cut just along here so that it lines up with the waistband. You have to make sure you get the waistband in the right position so that you know where to cut. This will be different on everybody because some people will have longer bodies, some people will be petite like myself. This is the tricky part. We're going to take our band and we're going to mark it with a pin just on the outside band, the one on the top, to show us where this is going to insert into. We'll do the same at the other side as well. And then we obviously have our pin where the middle is. Now we're going to take this side of our top shell out, and we're going to put it in between the bands. Now obviously this bit here is going to line up with the centre that we marked. And make sure you're pulling it down so it lines up. There we go. Now we're going to pin that in place so that we can sew along and close the band with this in it. So I'm just pinning it now in place. That's the band, the front and the back of the band, and this sandwiched in between it. Putting the pins in this way because that means the sewing machine can run right over it. And remember, this side bit has to line up with the pin that you've marked. And you're going to do the same now with the other side. Once we've done that, we're going to then unpin it. And we're now going to sew just along there to insert these pieces together and close up the band. You could run the sewing machine over this now, but I'm going to hand sew it, and I'm doing that so that I can keep it really neat at the front and at the back. So I'm going to be following along the line that I've already sewn with hand stitch and making sure that it follows along this line as well. Now I've sewn this top part up, I'm going to add a little hook and eye here and here, and that's so that you can clip it together. These are hook and eyes, and they're going to be the fastening that attaches these two bits together. So we're going to put a hook on one side and an eye on the other. So I've got my hook and eye now, and they can just clip together. Now this is the time to try it on yourself or your mannequin. I'm going to take this round now, and this is when you're going to see if it meets together fine there. And for me it's perfect size. For anybody that's a bit taller, you could add a little bit more of your ribbon detailing to add another section there and just make a feature of it. I've done that on my other dress. As you You can see in this neck piece, I've added that little bit extra there. I don't need to add any extra bit into the neck piece. I'm going to sew these two bits together. This is the front, as you can see, and I'm going to sew the back sides together like this, and I'm going to sew it 5mm, so that's ½ centimetre, and that's just going to go right along there with the two raw edges.